Okay, I just started recording, so now you'll hear a quick review of what I did. I forgot to record. So now we're discussing when. It's one of the relative adverbs. It talks about time. It refers to time, not people, things, and so on. Yeah, and it cannot be a subject of the sentence, only something else, right? Complement, okay? So here we discuss here this relative clause talking about week, which is a period, time period. Now we're discussing here that when the relative pronoun is on a defining relative clause, that's one condition, defining relative clause, and it is not a subject, you can cut it off. It's optional, okay? So you can say the day when we first met was memorable, or you can say the day we first met was memorable, okay? This is a defining relative clause. But if it's a non-defining relative clause and it's separated by commas, you cannot remove it. Okay? If there are commas, you cannot remove it. If it's a subject, it's essential you cannot remove it. Okay? So here we have, last Monday, when I received my package, I began studying. Okay? So last Monday is a clearly stated period of time. You know what day you're talking about, okay? Here on this one, it's just the day. Which day? You don't know which day. It's not clearly stated. You don't know which day. So the relative clause that come afterwards, this one, is a defining relative clause. Okay? But last Monday, it's a very clearly stated period of time, right? So this relative clause, it's also like an adjective for Monday, but it's just adding extra information. So it's a non-defining relative clause. So you should add a comma. See? Adding these commas, okay? And this relative pronoun, you cannot remove it. You cannot remove it, okay? Okay, now, let's see any notes over here. You have again another option. Remember here, we had another option? In which. Instead of where, you could say in which. That is the place in which we met. You could say that, remember? Or you could say that is the place where we met. Yes. Here you could put where, right? So you have this second option, preposition plus which. Now, when we come to when, you also have preposition plus which. You also have another option. Look, that is the day on which I was born. Remember, this preposition may change depending on the verb you're using, especially, right? You're born on a certain day, remember? What is the preposition for days? On. Yes, this was in your recent test. On Monday, on Tuesday, yes, on. Remember? So you are born on a certain day. Okay? So you can say, that is the day when I was born, or that is the day on which I was born. In this sentence, could I remove when? What do you think?
No.
Can or cannot? Is it a defining or a non-defining relative clause? Defining or non-defining? That is the day on which I was born. Defining? That is the day. It's still not clear which day, right? Yeah, so on which I was born, let me put it in blue color. Wait. This should be blue color, right? Not to get confused. We're using blue. On which I was born. This is a relative clause. That is the day. You see, the day. It's not a clear day. What day? Yeah, so this is a defining relative clause. He said non-defining? Defining relative clause. Yes. It's a specifying relative clause. Non-defining means it doesn't define, it doesn't make it more specific. Defining means it makes it more specific. Do you understand? So here, the day, just the day is not specific, not clear enough. So this sentence, this clause over here is defining that word.
So cannot remove.
Yes, you can remove. You got everything upside down. Over here, if you put instead of on which, if you put when, you can remove this when. Now you got confused, right? So Papaso got us confused. Think of the word defining. What does it mean? To define, to make it specific, to make it clear. Yeah, defining it.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay, so you could say, that is the day I was born.
Yes.
You see? That is the day I was born. You don't need when.
If we say like that, most of them they already know that day.
Huh?
No?
That is the day.
The day I was born. It's mean most of them they already know that day.
Who is both?
Most like the
Speaker and listener?
and listener.
Both of them know?
Discussed.
They know because of the relative clause. Without the relative clause, you don't know. This is the day. Which day? You understand?
This is the day I was born.
I forgot to record. I'm doing everything wrong today.
Non-defining and defining.
Non-defining and non-defining and defining. Yes.
Make next sentence together and then it may clear for me.
Supabaso, I think. Have you, okay, in general, the class, have you understood, now we've seen several examples already, okay? Have you understood defining and non-defining? Now a little bit confused. Okay. So then let's do a defining, non-defining review. Look. Look, defining, non-defining, okay? Defining, what does it mean to define? Define, it's like to explain, to make it clearer. Define. Specific, to specify. Okay? So a defining relative clause makes the noun more specific because it's not specific enough. It's not clear. So you have here, the man. You see? The relative clause is here. The man. Sorry. No. Everything is wrong today. The man who saved me is the relative clause. And the main clause is the man is called Superman. Okay? The man is called Superman. Okay? But which man is called Superman? Look at this. The man. Look at this noun, the man. It's not a clear noun. It's not specified. So this relative clause, it's making it clear. It's specifying. It's defining. Okay? So this is a defining relative clause. No commas. Because it's essential. Essential. Okay? But this one, Mr. John. Mr. John, we know it's a proper name. You know? It's like you say, Mr. Parisudo. Okay? You know who Parisudo is. It's already clear. So the sentence that comes later, it's also a relative clause, but it's just adding more information about him. Who is my neighbor? Okay? So this is a non-defining because it's already defined, it's already clear. Do you understand the difference? Another. The woman whom we met last week called. So the woman, sorry, no. Blue first, no, red first. The woman called. This is the main clause. Then in the middle, to talk about the woman, we put another clause, which is the relative clause, with the relative pronoun, whom we met last week. This is defining or non-defining? Whom we met last week. You have to look at the first noun, the noun that comes before, the woman. It's not a specific woman. You don't know which woman I'm talking about. So this relative clause, it's specifying. It's making it more defined, more clear. So it's a defining relative clause, no commas. It's essential. Okay? But Mrs. Holmes. Mrs. Holmes. Mrs. Holmes. Mrs. Holmes is a proper noun. Okay? She just left. Okay? So this is a proper noun. We know who we're talking about. Then this relative clause is just adding information. It's not defining it. It's already clear. So it's a non-defining relative clause. Okay? Is that okay? So if it's a non-defining, you put a comma over here. You see? Put a comma. Commas.
Before and after the clause.
Yes, before and after. One more example. The man whose backpack was stolen just called the guards. So the relative clause is here. You tell me. What is the relative clause? Whose backpack was stolen. Do I add just?
No.
Just call the guards. Yes, we should not add just. Good. So, is this defining or non-defining? You see, you have the man. Oh, it's a defining relative clause, you see? Okay? Mr. Wick. You know Mr. Wick?
Yes.
Mr. John Wick. You don't know, right, Bante? Yes. So Mr. Wick is a specific person, character, or something, someone we know. So this is a whose weapons have been confiscated, is a fugitive. So this is a relative or non-relative, sorry, it's a defining or non-defining relative clause? Non-defining relative clause. Okay, now a challenge. Let's take an IIT book. Vinaya, third year, Vibenga, for example, Sapanaka. Okay. The Tathagata was residing in the Viluvana monastery near the city of Rajagaha. At that time, there was a group of 17 children known as Satarasavaga. We haven't learned this yet, but this is a relative clause. Who were very close friends? Look. This is a relative clause, right?
Yes.
What does who refer to? What? Who refers to? Yes, the Satarasavagya. Right? Yes. So Satarasavagya is specific or non-specific? Yes, it's a group of 17 children known as Satarasavagya. Okay, it's considered as specific. And then you have a comma here, you see? So this is a non-defining relative clause. Who were very close friends. Okay? Another. One day, Upali's parents were discussing with each other on how he would live happily without difficulty. They were planning to teach him a specific skill so that, what is this? Remember, so that, those, yes, so that he would make a living out of it. They thought about training him in writing. Then it came to their mind that, this is just a conjunction, if they train him in writing, his fingers would pain. came, if it's in the past, you see here some problem in the writing is not correct, okay? Because came is in the past, so if they trained should be in the past, and this should be would. Then they thought of teaching him counting. No relative clauses. It came to their mind that that would hurt his chest. Yes, this is not a relative clause. Afterwards, they thought of training. Where are the relative clauses? Today everything wrong, right? Okay, Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma is full of relative clauses. No? Or you want to take a real English book, no? A real English book. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Go. One-pointedness. Yes.
What is the opposite of etakata?
This is the unification of the mind on its object. Although this factor comes to prominence in the jhanas where it functions as a jhana factor. Wait. Where, right? Where. This is a relative clause, I think, right? Although because this factor comes to prominence in the jhanas, right? Can I mark this? Yes. This factor comes to prominence in the jhanas. Now think of jhanas as a place, and in this place it functions as a jhana factor, you see? Where? It's a relative clause, you see? Non-defining relative clause. So although this happens, the Abhidhamma teaches that the germ of that capacity for mental unification is present in all types of consciousness, even the most rudimentary. It there functions as the factor which no relative clauses. Where? Here. There are two types of life faculty. The mental, then you're adding about the mental, which vitalizes the associated mental states. This is a relative clause, okay? And the physical, another relative clause, which vitalizes material phenomena, you see? Two relative clauses. This one refers to the mental, this one refers to the physical. Yes. Now look at this, is a little interesting, just something I noticed. Which refers to a noun, right? But mental is an adjective. So this mental, yeah, you have to think which actually refers to here, life faculty. You see? Yes, it's the mental life faculty. Do you understand?
The article is in front of
adjective.
Why do you put just the mental, which vitalize? The mental, because you have just said the life faculty, right? So there are two types of life faculty, the mental and the physical. The mental and the physical. The mental, what does it mean? The mental life faculty, the physical life faculty. Do you understand? So you don't need to repeat life faculty, right? So you have the mental and the physical. You understand? So here actually this which is not really referring to mental itself, it's the mental life faculty, right? You understand? It must refer to a noun. Cannot refer to an adjective. Okay? Vitalizes, yes. It gives life. Vita. Yes. Okay, enough, no? Or you want some more? No, enough. We just have an hour. Okay, this was a review a bit on what is defining and non-defining. Okay. So now you have to make a sentence with when. Or you can make a sentence with here, on which, depending on the verb, it could be a different preposition. So you make a sentence immediately and you send it on WhatsApp. Even Santa Viria and Damanyana. Can you make one?